Hi, Dylan. Thanks. Yeah, Ming is a high-grade copper gold underground mine in Newfoundland. It's operated by the single project AIM-listed Rambler Mines and Metals. It's been the mine has operated for two substantial periods already, up more than 20 years, up until about 1982, and now Rambler's been operating since 2012. In addition to that, there's more than a 20-year mine life in Rambler's current mine planning, and more than 40 years of resource at current production rates. What's really interesting is that they've operated successfully through both copper and gold low prices, and maintained payments of a very similar gold stream to the one that we're going to be implementing now. Why this opportunity now? We're just taking a large proportion of the gold and silver and none of the copper. So we're adding another precious metals long life acquisition in a tier 1 jurisdiction to complement our existing portfolio of long life and quality producing assets. And it provides immediate and material initial cash flows. We've timed the deal to coincide with promising developments at the mine, with a new team implementing a lot of changes in terms of production, but also very well funded with a new proactive lender. We first looked at the mine in 2018 and really liked the deposit, and we've been working on this deal for the best part of 6 months. It's our first stream, and the first time that we've been able to write the agreement rather than taking an established agreement. So it's one that we're working with mine management, and provides the advantage of being able to design it to both our needs and the operator's needs, and one that covers a lot of the risks. It's shaped to maximize initial returns and minimum gold delivery guarantees. And there's a much higher level of security than we would normally have with a third-party royalty. Yeah, so as I say, Ming is a proven producer with a long operational history, and the ore body has the grade, production capacity and flexibility to survive through difficult macroeconomic conditions, and has the potential to provide decades of future production. It's a VMS mine with copper with gold, and I can explain that a little bit later, with large significant upside potential as well. In Newfoundland, mining friendly jurisdiction, it's Elemental's first Canadian asset, and further diversifies our portfolio into another tier 1 jurisdiction. There's great infrastructure and government and local support, and Rambler holds a great position in the mining district with strategic treatment facilities and port operations. Reserves, yeah, as I say, it's a gold stream, and we're taking 50% of the gold initially, stepping down gradually to 25% ongoing. There's about 100,000 ounces in proven probable reserve at the moment, and we expect a material increase to this shortly with a new gold ore reserve statement coming out during Q1. In the resource, there's more than 300,000 ounces of gold, and there's a very large resource and a relatively small reserve because of difficulties drilling in an underground mine. The potential for growth, definitely in terms of the long term, they've been able to replace existing production as they've been going, and they're upping their exploration at the moment. It's from around 6,000 meters to 15,000 meters of drilling going forward. We expect significant uplift in the gold resource as we go, and it's definitely maintenance of the current levels, and hopefully increases as well. Two types of ore, and if you look at the diagram on the left, you can see sort of the massive sulfide sitting as a horizontal feature along the sea floor, and then there's underneath that there is often a stringer zone of veins which feed the system. The massive sulfides are high grade, and in the case of Ming, this is where the majority of the gold is, and then the lower grade stringer zone sits underneath. If you look at the chart on the right, you can see tons versus grade, and where Ming sits relative to other ore bodies of similar nature. And people may have heard of the Kidd Creek operation, which long life mine run by Glencore, which has historical life of around 100 million tonnes, whereas the Ming operation is sort of 40 million tonnes. So, but in terms of what is left at Kidd Creek, there's probably around 20 to 30 million tonnes available there. And the copper grades are similar, but Kidd Creek has zinc, but no gold, or very little gold, whereas we have gold, which is around 20% of our revenues. And if you look at the detail of the Ming operation, you can see that there are a number of chutes within the system, and this is common not only at this scale, but often within the district. You can often find a number of similar ore bodies, and there are a couple of smaller, lower grade systems within a few kilometres of Ming, and there's potential for more as well. On the diagram, you can see that the black and the red chutes are the massive sulfide zones, and these are the high grade zones with which are gold rich. Underneath that is the lower footwall zone, which is a stringer system, feeder system sitting underneath, and that was only found relatively recently. So in terms of the current ore reserve, the ore reserve is dominated by the lower footwall zone because it was only found recently and has only been in production since around 2016. Whereas the massive sulfide zones have been mined for around 30 years. So that, combined with the difficulty in drilling out small high-grade systems compared to the large low-grade lower footwall zone, means that the ore reserve at the moment is significantly dominated by the lower footwall zone. We're confident, though, that when as they progress down plunge, that these chutes will continue, and they will continue to be able to find high-grade massive sulfides as they go. And looking at the tonnes per vertical metre, the split is roughly 1/3 of the tonnes are high-grade massive sulfide versus 2/3 the low-grade, and this matches the blend that the Rambler mill requires to manage production. Yeah, Ming has shown that it's a highly continuous system with a number of chutes with consistent tonnes and grades down plunge. And if anything, Rambler at the moment believe that the system is only getting better with depth. Looking at some recent results, the Ming North ore body, which is high grade copper and gold, they doubled that with the recent copper resource, and we're waiting on gold assays to see what the gold addition is going to be there. But confident that with the high grade gold and copper from previous results and in that zone, that will be strong. There have also been zones in the past where they've found significantly higher grades of gold, including the 1806 zone, which in just a few months at the start of Rambler's operating life, they mined 16,000 ounces at 6 grams per tonne. And this compares to annual production sort of in the range of 3,000 to 4,000 ounces a year at generally in the order of around 2 grams per tonne. So significant opportunity there for gold spikes as if we find similar types of ore in the future. Yeah, that's right. It's a copper mine, but the gold is intrinsically linked to the high-grade ore from the massive sulfide zones. And so these zones are very important to Rambler in terms of maintaining their metal production and profitability. So both copper and gold will be delivered from these. The gold grade in the massive sulfide zones is in the order of 2.7 grams per tonne versus 1.7 in the total resource. And we also have guarantees in terms of gold deliveries over the first 3 years, and this is while we are taking half of the gold. So while they are balancing production between the large low-grade lower footwall zone, which will roughly be 2/3 of production, versus the high-grade massive sulfide zones, which is high gold, that's the natural split in the ore body itself, and they're balancing production, aiming to keep 4 zones, 4 stopes operating at any one time, and at least one of these will be from the high-grade massive sulfide zones. They put a lot of work in recently into becoming a more consistent producer, putting in a lot of capital development, doing a lot of drilling, and the plan is that they'll be producing at around 1.3 thousand tonnes of ore per day to fill the mill. That's the mill capacity, and aiming to push beyond that to get the mine performing at 2,000 tonnes a day, so that they can implement ore sorting and keep the mill full with higher grade ore. Yes, the gold's really interesting. It's definitely correlated with the massive sulfide zones, and but there seems to be a remobilized component as well, and the deformation that the ore body has undergone definitely seems to be moving the gold around, and that's probably why we're getting those high grade pods like the 1806. And we think there is definitely potential for some of these within the easy reach of existing mine infrastructure. If you look at the current ore reserve, which is around 29 to 30 million tonnes, and we're expecting an upgrade of the gold in shortly. There's been production has been only in the order of 10 million tonnes, so it's roughly 3/4 of the ore is still in the ground. And then with the renewed impetus in relation to exploration by Rambler, looking to improve the quality of the ore feed and find new mineralisation near existing infrastructure, and drilling, committing to drilling in the order of 15 kilometres a year of underground drilling, predominantly underground drilling, and a capex plan of $10 to $15 million a year, and putting in 4 kilometres of capital development a year. We're confident that with the historical production of the mine and track record of the continuity and the deep drilling ahead of us, that there's going to be continuing opportunities to find rich new ore and continue to more than replace production as they go deeper. All of the massive sulfide lodes, the 1805, 1806, 1807, Ming North and Ming South, all of those are open, down plunge, and as you can see, the drilling results are some pretty interesting numbers. And Rambler, as I say, believe that the system is improving in terms of both thickness and grade with depth. And so with the capital development, the work that's been done over the last year or so, the plan to continue this work and the establishment of 4 operating stopes, one of which will be, always at least one of which will be a massive sulfide zone. We're confident that production's going to increase, and that there are further possibilities in terms of increasing the grade, bringing in ore sorting, potential further down the track to think about mill upgrades, and possible increased production through the refurbishment of the shaft. Yes, with the way we have established the stream in terms of the quick initial return and the development of the mine, we're very confident that we'll quickly get a return on our investment, and then the long-term potential of the ore body will continue to provide returns and potential upside. Thank you very much. Bye.